5. I want to say good evening to everyone. I'm Kathy Lindenbaum, the New Jersey PTA president. I want to start by thanking you all for what you are doing. We have never experienced something like this before, and I know it's stressful. I thank all of you with working from home, homeschooling your children, and you are still finding time for PTA. So thank you. I hope you and your families have remained healthy during this pandemic. It's unfortunate that we must go through this, but through it all, PTA has and will remain a working association. Even though we are mostly working from our homes, we are trying our best to do what we can remotely. Thank goodness for the internet and all the communication opportunities we have today. We are at New Jersey PTA wanted to touch base with our local PTAs to reassure you that we are here during this challenging time and we are available for questions. Doing this meeting enables everyone to ask questions while possibly hearing ideas that others have to share. I want to thank the New Jersey PTA Board of Directors who have been going above and beyond during this time to make sure we get information out to you. Our executive team, committee team would like to say a few words on the call tonight. First, we have President-elect Rob Chara.
Thank you, Kathy. It's so good to see you all. I'm right here live from my beach, which is really in my basement office, but it's nice that Zoom allows us to have some virtual backgrounds to pretend that we could be on the beach. But it's so good to see you all. So many of you that were able to join us. We are recording this and we'll post it later for people that missed it. And if it's a good idea, we'll hopefully be able to do it again. It's so good to see, especially on social media and the emails that we're getting, so many of you that are during this time still trying to work towards PTA's mission of making every child's potential a reality and ensuring that the business of PTA is able to be completed, and for most parts in such creative ways that we see all over social media and Facebook right now. So I appreciate so much what you do for our association each day, especially in your local towns and communities in normal times, and now, especially now during this pandemic. Thank you, Kathy.
Thanks, Rob. Now our VP of Leadership Development, Sharon Roseborough, would like to say a few words.
Hi, everyone. Thank you again for all that you're doing for our kids. I know that, it's untested waters that we're going through, but I'm so glad that you guys are getting through it. I just wanted to let you know that we are here to help you while you navigate through the end of the year. If you are having virtual meetings, we would love to come on and join you. So please, please, please invite us. If you need to reach out to us, we are only a phone call or email away. We check our messages every day. President Lindenbaum is checking the messages, and President-elect Achara is checking the emails. So no question is, too small. Make sure if you have a question, please, please, please give us a call, leave a message, and we'll get right back to you, or send a quick email and we'll also get back to you. I don't know if you all saw the e-blast that went out this past week, but it has a lot of great information. There's some guidance on how to conduct a virtual meeting. There's guidance on teleconferencing. So make sure that if you missed that email to go back and look through your emails and check it out. And last but not least, stay safe. And we hope to see you at our next in-person meeting. Thanks, Rob.
Next, we'll have VP of Advocacy, Lynette Howard.
Hi, everyone. Thank you for joining the call. I echo everyone's sentiments that on expressions that our President Lindenbaum and President-elect Achara, Vice President of Leadership Development, Sharon Roseborough, has said. And I'm here to help anyone that needs any help in their district on advocacy, any advocacy questions, anything to help advocate for your child, and any questions in general. So please feel free to reach out. Thank you.
Next, thank you, Lynette. Next, we have Secretary Ginger Reinhold.
Hi, everyone. I hope that you all are doing well and your families are doing well also. There's not much more I can say than probably has already been said. But listen, as they've all been saying, please reach out to any one of us. We're all here to help. There is a chain of command, and I'm sure you all know it, which is county to region to our exec officers. But again, we're all here to help because, as Kathy has said, this is uncharted territory, and we're doing the very best that we can. Thank you all very much, and please all be safe.
Thank you, Ginger. Next is immediate past president and our federal legislative chair, Rosa Chera.
Hi, everyone, and I also welcome everyone. I am happy that Kathy and her officers decided to put this together for us so we could touch base. So I just really quick, because everyone else had some great things to say, just wanted to leave you with a quote that I came across, and it says, "Sometimes you never know the value of a moment until it becomes a memory." So with that, as we ride these moments out, let's keep doing the best we can and know that soon it'll all be a memory that made us better leaders, parents, and community members. Thank you.
Thanks, Rose. That was a nice quote. Also joining us tonight is Lori Palmer, our state treasurer, and Stephanie Bowe, our state bylaws chair. Now we're going to go back to Rob, and he's going to give ground rules of the meeting and start the questions and answers.
Thank you, Kathy. So first, before I go over the ground rules, I just remembered I wanted to talk about something real quick. Yesterday, Member Hub, who we all know and love, has created and sent out an email blast. Hopefully it went out to all officers. If you didn't get it, if you log into Member Hub, as soon as you log in, it shows it to you. You could go to memberhub.com. They have created specific resources for you guys to host professional fundraisers virtually. So it gives options for online auctions, online events, online sweepstakes, online raffles, online like dance-a-thons and things you can do at home. So you can get very creative in this time. We've had some emails about, different locals that had auctions planned and they already have the prizes. What a great way now that Member Hub is allowing us to take photos of each of those prizes, put them up on the internet, and use these tools for free or for a small fee if you want to not pass on the fee to your members. So take a look at that on memberhub.com, or you could just log into your Member Hub account to see that. For some ground rules for today, if you are on the Zoom account, on the bottom there's a chat function. So if to try to keep things bearable, if you type your questions into the chat function, we'll answer them in order. If we don't see questions on there, we will unmute. There's also, if you go onto participants on the right and you click on your name, there's a way you can raise your hand. So if we see that your hand is raised, we can unmute you to ask your question. But we'll try, and please don't leave, and we'll answer as many possible questions as we can. We could be here all night, but hopefully we don't. So you could start doing that. The first question, do they still sell licenses for online auctions? Or I guess, do they still need licenses for online auctions? I think the question on that, and a Member Hub gives you all the specifics on there. Because it's online, there's different rules. So you log in and you give your tax ID number, EIN number through the IRS, and it will give you all the rules and logistics that you need to run that. So Kathy, the next one is, good evening. It's from Michelle. I was wondering about elections if we have not selected a nominating committee yet.
Well, we do have guidelines that we did give out. If you have not selected a nominating committee, everything is going to be the same according to the rules. So you will have to vote on your nominating committee. So you will have to have a virtual meeting in order to do that. So the rules stay the same. The only thing that is really different is that you're going to be doing it virtually. And we have those guidelines up. If you have specific questions about the guidelines, we'll be more than happy to answer them.
The next question is from Kelly. Can you please provide the call-in number? The one listed in email is missing a number. Thank you. Kelly, if you look on the bottom, if you're on the screen, and all the way on the left, there is a microphone button. If you click that, you can use your phones, the computer audio, but I will type in the call-in number as well. And that's all the questions that have been typed in so far. Kathy, you want me to unmute anyone and see if they want to ask?
Anyone? Lois, would you like to ask a question? I think Lois is trying to talk.
I typed it in, but I don't see where to send it, so
Okay.
I'll ask. It's good to see all of you, everyone safe and healthy, first of all. What about audits? How are we going to proceed with audits when we can't sit together?
Where's Lori? Could you unmute Lori? Lori Palmer, State Treasurer.
Go ahead, Lori.
But they're not due for a while, so we haven't actually looked at that since they're not due until after the end of your fiscal year, and we don't know what's happening at that point. So we have not figured out really what we're doing with audits at this point, because right now it's April, so there's 2 more months before 2.5 months before fiscal year ends. And we could be back.
I hate to be pessimistic, but I like to line my ducks up, you know.
Yeah, maybe you could, make sure at one of your virtual meetings you nominate
Oh yeah,
your
definitely.
audit committee, so you have that ready.
Audit committee, and then we can figure out whether it's something that can be done virtually or how you can.
Yeah, no, we
We'll have to
definitely.
look into all the methods of being able to share documents like that so that it could be audited.
Right. Okay, thanks, Lori.
I do see a question in terms of a virtual meeting to ensure no one is left out. Would we create a Zoom meeting and send out an invite through Member Hub? Yes, you can create a Zoom meeting, send out the invite through Member Hub for your members. When you're having the meeting, just remember that, your secretary, when doing a roll call, needs to see the person, make sure everyone could hear you, so it's fair. Also, you could also call on someone from the field service team, invite us if you'd like some help on your virtual meetings. We'll be more than happy. We have a whole board of people. We have 24 members of our board of directors, and I'm definitely sure we'll find someone to come in and help you if you need help with that. And we have another one. Was there anything in reference to quorum for these virtual meetings? Quorum is the same. Everything is the same. So if your quorum is 15, that's your quorum for the virtual meetings. And the membership of our school can vote for the bylaws virtually now? Yes, you can do that virtually too. Again, the same things hold true, but just to let you know that we are not marking anyone non-compliant right now for not having your bylaws in. So you will get a little bit if your bylaws are due, June or September. We understand that this is, new waters, and we will not mark you, have you non-compliant for not getting your bylaws in.
What happens, Kathy, here's the next one. What happens if we do not have enough people join virtually?
Well, just like a regular meeting, then if you don't meet your quorum, you don't have a meeting, you have an informational meeting. You do need to meet, those bylaw requirements.
If I could just jump in on that one.
Sure.
We've had some locals that we've talked to, and I know some people on the board have already spoken to them, that by publicizing it on obviously social media, through email outlets that you would use normally, sending it out through your Member Hub contact list, they've actually, people that have had meetings so far in the last couple of weeks, a lot have commented that they've gotten more members attend because it's virtually and they're at home anyway than they would normally when they're trying to get quorum to have elections at the end of the year. So this may be a great time to enlist some of those members that may have never been able to come to a meeting all year, maybe get them involved now. So come September or come time when you need officers again, this is a great time to attract some of them. The next one, Kathy, class of 2020 is supposed to have a post-prom for which they raise a substantial amount of money. In the event prom is canceled and therefore no prom, is there guidance on how we are to handle the monies raised?
Well, when you raise money, we all know when we raise money in a fundraiser for a specific fundraiser, that's what you're supposed to spend it on. Obviously, I would imagine most proms are going to be canceled unless they do something in the summer, but I don't really foresee that happening, but who knows, maybe it can. I would say that you would hold it over if it's money that was donated from like an organization. If you got money like that, other than fundraising, you need to call them up and you need to, let's just say it's, whatever, like a local pizzeria and they donated $1,000 for something. You need to like refund them that money, or at least ask them, can you hold it over for next year's post-prom? So anything like that, any donations, you need to call the people and you need to see if they want it back. Money that was raised through fundraising for parents, that's a little bit harder and you'll have to put that in, Lori, you could chime in if you want, but I would say put that in a restricted fund for post-prom for next year.
Correct. In terms of post-prom, if it's
Yes.
money raised with other fundraisers, it would just stay in your budget, which goes sort of to the next question, which was asking if there's any issues if they carry over a larger than normal bank balance, since we haven't been able to support our school during the time. We'll obviously carry the balance to be used next year. You can carry over any amount of money. The recommendation is that you do not carry over large sums of money because it's not a profit organization, which is why we recommend that you only fundraise what you need for that school year. In this circumstance, since it is different, you've obviously done some fundraising and maybe have not been able to use it, not specifically post-prom, because that probably has its own little entity, but if it's just going towards your regular budget, you were supposed to have field trips or something that didn't happen, yes, you can hold it over till next year, but the recommendation always is if you're holding over that sum of money, keep that in mind when you're making up your budget. If you're holding over $10,000, then you already start with $10,000, so don't plan fundraisers to make that additional $10,000. Only do fundraisers for the money that you need for whatever is in your budget. If that means you don't have some fundraisers because you have that excess money, you're going to use that money first before you ask your parents for additional funds next year.
The next one is, and kind of goes along with that, from Lori. It was money raised by the class parents, donations like pocketbook bingo, etc. Any opportunities to return the money to the students? The executive committee of New Jersey PTA through the guidance. So if you haven't seen the guidance, take a look. It's on our Facebook page. It should be in your email box. We'll post it, make sure it gets posted on our website. It's not, we want you to have virtual meetings and have the opportunity to have virtual meetings, not only if it's an election year or if you have to nominate a nominating committee, but so you can make decisions like that. We've had locals that have asked us questions about making donations. There's one local that is right across the street from a hospital, and they wanted to see how they could do donations for first responders and people that worked in the hospital across the street. But like Lori's question, if it's money that has been raised by the class, by the parents, for the class over the time they've been in the school, that's a time where you can have a meeting with your general membership to discuss where that money wants to go, what you want to do with the money. You may not want to decide right now, not knowing exactly what's going to happen down the line. But as we get closer to what would have been the end of the year if we're not in school, or at the end of the year if we're in school, make a decision with your general membership on what's the best way to use those funds to make sure that those 8th graders, those 5th graders, whatever the last grade in your school, or any grade that may have missed a class trip or a party or something like that, can feel special through this time. Kathy, how does it work if you are trying to raise money for a big purchase? Would you be able to carry a certain balance year to year if that money is earmarked for something specific like smart boards?
Yeah, you would put that in restricted funds. Again, vote on that with your membership.
And just make sure it's notated in minutes and things, so future years, if you're not around, they know why that money is there and what it's to be used for.
Have any other questions? Anyone want to be unmuted to ask their question instead of typing it?
We have a question about budget for next year. Should one grade be given a higher budget for events for the year versus all other grades? Example, 5th grade wants more money from general budget to have more larger events. Shouldn't all grades have equal in spending?
Oh boy, if I had $1 for every time a 6th grade thing came up, I'll tell you. When you're doing, like I'm going to say, and I'm sure Lori and other people will agree with me from the board, that is up to your general membership. You have to vote on stuff like that. But just remember that, if the 5th grade parents want a big, party or a hoopla, whatever you do, they should be fundraising for that, and then you do specific fundraisers. Lori, chime in.
No, that's true. I mean, a lot of times they will give them a certain amount of money specifically for that event, but usually not covering the whole thing and asking the parents to help raise money for that event. If you do give them a little more money, the theory usually is every child eventually will be a 5th grader. So you're hoping that the budget that other parents are contributing to this year for your 5th grader, people in the future are going to still contribute when it's somebody else's 5th grader You know, because they will hope that when their kid is fifth grader, that the kindergarten and first grade parents will chip in to help their
And
fifth
try
grader
to
have
get
that.
things, sorry, try to get things donated. You know, a lot of parents use resources in your PTA. You know, parents could donate stuff. You know, that sometimes is better than just actually, you know, always putting out those fundraisers. Go to your local, you know, pizza places or whatever. Could tell I have pizza on my mind tonight. um, but, you know, try to get a lot of stuff donated also. Anyone want to be unmuted to ask a question? There's that raised hand.
Well, I just want to chime in. Rob had mentioned the one question that we had gotten about a PTA that was across the street from a first responder. Make sure that what Kathy did send out, everybody reads, because there's a very good section in there about the fact that you cannot specifically use your funds to benefit any one individual, one family, or donate it to certain organizations. But there are other ways you can support things such as the first responders, and it gives you examples in there.
A good question that just came up. As a board member, what should we be doing right now for our school community?
Well, we do have a lot of resources and we try to update them daily. I give Greg, our board member who's updating the website, kudos for that, putting resources on there. So we would like, you know, if you can send those out to your families. We will be doing some webinars, one webinar April 14th, and we'll have that information out. We did put it out once, but we'll put it out again. A series of webinars with New Jersey Principal Association, where the first one's going to be on like mental health and just things that you could do for your kids and how to keep yourself sane in this time. We're just co-hosting it. It's all professionals, counselors that are on there doing it. We'll be doing one on special education, one on social media. So if you get that information out to your parents to either come on, but they'll be recorded. Also just reaching out to your members, seeing, you know, if you could, you know, a lot of you have good rapport with the principals in your school, the superintendent in your district. If you know, like one family needs something particular, maybe, you know, get them in touch with, you know, the person in the school district that can help them out, and just give reassurance. And I know it's hard because you need reassurance too. You guys are all, I have to say, I hand it to you local leaders because, you know, I have 5 children. My youngest is, you know, going to be 22. I would probably be going crazy right now if I had to homeschool all my kids. I have to say, so kudos to every one of you by doing your jobs at home. You know, kudos to the people who are still going out there. Some of you, I'm sure, are first responders, grocery store workers, doing all that. Like I have to say, you know, keeping it together in this time is very hard. So just things like that, just being there as a resource for them would be great. Maybe do like a Zoom meeting like this. We can help you with that. You can, like I said before, you know, even if it's just an informational meeting you want to do for your locals, we are, I know, I can tell you, we are available. Invite us, we'll come on. We'll talk about the resources if you want to do that.
There's also, just to piggyback off that, if there's other things that you want to do too, if you want to see, a big talk that we've been having, Kathy and I and other leaders on here from our state board have been on different calls this week. Yesterday, we were on a call with Senator Booker and Senator Menendez. 2 days ago, we were on with New Jersey Senate President Steve Sweeney and the Education Chair, Teresa Ruiz. And the big thing that they keep talking about is the inadequacies that we have sometimes with some technology, some internet issues across the state. So if you hear things like that, please let us know. We've been collecting resources, and Teresa Ruiz, who is the education chair for New Jersey Senate, she made a broad statement the other day when we were on the call with her that her goal, if anything else through all of this, is through this, and by the time this is over, and hopefully by September 1st, that every student in the state of New Jersey will have internet at their home that they could use and a Chromebook that they can take home every night, to make sure that if this were ever to happen again, or even just through regular education, they are ready to be a student in 2020. And unfortunately, we see across this state and across the nation that there's many students right now especially in urban areas that the internet is not there, and they obviously need it to be able to do this virtual learning. So if you hear things like that, or food inadequacies, please reach out to us, and we'll be able to support you as much as we can and give you resources to people that could hopefully support you even more than we could.
Right, and there's other stuff going on. I know Verizon and Comcast are doing like trucks, like hotspots. I know in my town, I did see one. Well, I didn't see it. My son saw it. I don't go out. I'm a chicken. I'm staying in. But so there are things like that too. So we'll be able to, you know, if you reach out to us, find out if there's something in your area, if you hear about, you know, any issues like that.
Another question, any good ideas for Teacher Appreciation Week if we are not back in school yet?
Well, I'm not very creative, but I'll open that up to anyone here. Does anyone have any ideas, stuff that they would like to do, that they would like to share? You see Rose? Rose, did you say something?
Typed it in. Yeah, can you hear me?
Yes.
I just have typed it in. If those of you that are on Facebook, the National PTA, it's part of our school kit, the back to school kit that started back in September. There is a page, and it's called PTA Leader page. It is full of resources, and I was just on it today. A lot of PTAs, and these are PTAs across the country, sharing ideas on how they're going to celebrate Teacher Appreciation this year. Please jump on there and get some great ideas, and maybe we could just even pull some of those ideas and do like a one-pager that we can share with all our local leaders in New Jersey.
That's a good idea.
Rose just got a job.
I was just looking because I saw that question before I was reading, and I went on to PTA.org and typed in Teacher Appreciation. And it's funny, you know, not that it's funny, but just that it so happened that the theme every year, National PTA with the co-sponsor Office Depot and Office Max do a theme for Teacher Appreciation Week. And National PTA's theme this year is I heart my teacher, and it's all about emojis. So there's a lot of resources already on here for things to do digitally, things from home that you could do, thank you teacher cards that we can send them virtually, social media graphics, web ads. So basically, how can you hashtag thank a teacher? So take a look on PTA.org and search Teacher Appreciation Week, and there's resources already there for you. Obviously, you know, we may not be able to do a luncheon this year, or, you know, get the masseuse volunteer to come in and give them back massages, but which I always love, but there's other options that we can do.
That was the one thing I had thought when I saw that question, is when I talk to any friends that I have that are teachers, or if you scroll through Facebook, most of the teachers right now, the biggest thing they're saying is they miss their students. Not that they miss having their luncheon and they miss their students. So if there's some way you can get students to do cards, even if, you know, if you have somebody, and I'll pick on Greg here because he does all of our video and Facebook and stuff. Any way you can get pictures, videos that you can gather together from the students, for their teachers, and send them electronically to them. It's not the same thing you would do if you were in school, but I think that would be definitely appreciated by the teachers, because they want to be able to connect with their students or see their students. So as Rob said, like thank you cards, or, you know, pictures that they could draw and they could show the teacher type thing.
I see some.
I unmuted Jackie. Jackie had an idea.
Okay.
Jackie, do you hear us? Jackie Gibbs.
Sorry, I had myself on mute as well. Thank you. So I guess my idea was similar to what Lori was saying, that it would be great if you could email some of the parents and say, hey, if you guys want to, you can either choose the theme and have the kids draw something and then put a collage together and then send it to the teachers, or perhaps have the kids send videos. If you can break it down by classroom, I mean, that'd be wonderful, or even by grade, and then have those parents submit to your PTA mailbox, or perhaps you want them to send it through Member Hub. But wherever you have your centralized email, have them send their snippets and then do a collection, a video of a, you know, thank you teachers, and then send that out, have the principal post that on the school website. That might be an idea as well. It'd be great. I don't know in terms of the location, but I've seen some school, I've seen a teacher leave a note. Actually, she wrote on chalk. She wrote on the street in front of the student's house, you did a great job on your recent exam. So I'm thinking maybe if you can flip that idea. I don't know if you know where the teacher lives, but maybe, people can leave little notes there, not all together, obviously, but, I thought that was a cute idea that a teacher did to a student. But I think the video was probably the best bet.
Marcinko put Flipgrid and they raised their hand. So
Yeah,
oh,
Flipgrid.
there you go.
Flipgrid.
Can you tell us?
I'm sorry?
Can you tell us what Flipgrid is?
So it's these short little videos. Our teachers, our first grade and our pre-K teacher at our elementary school created a link, and the students can go in and do a short little video to other students, or in this case, if you want to do it for teacher appreciation, you can send out the link. You could create the link yourself on flipgrid.com, and you send the link to whoever you want to make a little video, and they can do their little segment. Basically, it was to say hello, and then all her other students created their video and said hello, hope everybody's well, and it was really cute. It was adorable for pre-K, and first grade did it too. So that's something that you might want to look into for short video segments.
Idea.
Chastity had a tip. She said her local president, this is a good idea. Her local president just she shared the reflections theme for next year. So it gave children, it's going to give children an opportunity to start their entries early for next year. It's a good idea.
Tip.
Kathy, a new one. We were thinking of donating to our local hospital as they needed some equipment. They are 501c3.
Yeah, it's unfortunately you're not able to do that because you have to have the same mission, and that's not the same mission as for children. So I know in this, I know it's hard. You want to do it, but you can't. It's not part of the same mission as PTA.
And just to throw in, because I forgot what it was, the reflections theme for 2020, 2021 is I matter because ... So that's the theme. And if your local doesn't have a reflections program, you can reach out to us to go look at reflections on PTA's website. It's an amazing arts program. That would be great right now, especially if your art teachers at your schools are questioning, or your music teachers questioning what can they do for the students in this time. That's a great opportunity for them.
See a few questions there about buying stuff for teacher appreciation, teacher swag, and there was another question that somewhere.
Funds are there. Would small gift baskets sent to the teachers' homes be acceptable?
So it depends if you have something in your budget for teacher appreciation. That's number one, because you can't spend money that's not in your budget. And we always like to be careful about how much we do spend. So if it's in your budget, you can come up creative, make sure, you get together and it's voted on, basically what you're doing. If it's not in your budget, then you're going to want to have a meeting to amend your budget, a virtual meeting to make sure that, the general members are agreeable that you're doing this. But, also, you could get some donations for that too, maybe from some of the parents, but, you have to make sure that it's in your budget before you spend the money. Remember, the general membership, again, all those rules still hold, that, even though we're relaxing some of the, rules, and that's because Governor Murphy has relaxed nonprofit rules. That's why we're able to do this. We still want to make sure that we follow the guidelines of PTA bylaws. Hope that helped.
Okay, we missed a couple of questions. Let me go back.
Okay.
Yeah, there's a question about moving the gift auction to the summer. Did you see that one, Rob?
If the PTA decides to move their gift auction to the summer, but the board that was planning it technically no longer will be in office, who runs the gift auction? How would the PTA handle that? Lori, I thought you were walking away, so you didn't have to answer.
Yeah, okay. Why do we have to answer that question? Yeah. I don't think that has to do with funds.
Good question.
Technically, the new board would be the one to run it because they would be, well, let's actually, whoever's on the gift auction committee would be the one that's running it, which may or may not be those same people. But it would be under the auspices of the new board. So it would be best if there's anybody moving over that would be agreeable, or that it's decided in conjunction with the new board. Because once the current officers, if they were all to leave and there was a new board, they don't have to do what was previously planned. They make up their own agenda for their term.
But
So,
sorry
ahead.
to interrupt you. Again, uncharted waters, new territories. This is where you guys got to get together and work together and try to come up with something. That's the best we could say, because, what do? Hopefully, the new people will, be, open to having the people who were going to do it before run it. As a volunteer and a leader of volunteers, I jump on if someone wants to do something. So hopefully you guys can all work that out together. If not, give us a call. We'll help you, right? That's all I can really say right now. Sorry, we don't have a better answer, but that's really the answer,
Another question we missed for quorum.
Well,
Does-
Laura.
Does there have to be audio and visual to be counted as present, I guess, during virtual meetings? Does audio only count as being present?
What do you mean, like a phone call? Is that who was that from?
Cassidy.
That's
Yeah.
from Chastity.
Yeah. Well, you have to know your members. So we like audio and visual together, where the secretary could see the person and hear the person. But, obviously sometimes, you cannot, see the person and you can hear the person, but, you have to know your members. So that's where it gets a little hard, but, hopefully they do have both.
Sharon made a suggestion, I think, back to Teacher Appreciation Week. You can also take pictures of students working at home and have parents send them in. That's a good idea.
Yeah.
I know a lot of schools. I work in a school this year, so I just sent my picture in. A lot of teachers have been putting together videos that they've been posting on Facebook, so the students can see the teachers. It may be also a good idea if your PTAs want to put together a video the other way around, kind of off of what Sharon says, taking pictures of the students doing work, putting it together with a great song, and posting it on Facebook too, or social media, or just sending it to the teachers, because I could tell you the teachers are missing the students as much as the students are obviously missing their teachers, and probably as much as the parents are missing the teachers right now too.
Also, we'll be posting, I didn't send the link yet to Greg, or at least I didn't think I just got it. There's a New Jersey School Board Association, has a lot of stuff going on. They do a STEM class once a week. They're doing a yoga class once a week. There was, Rob, help me, you were on the call with us. They are doing a music class once a week with,
Yeah.
There's some
Department of
stuff
Ed,
going
it's grades 3 through 6, I believe, that they're targeting on right now. They hopefully will expand it as the weeks go on. But if you just follow Department of Education, New Jersey Department of Education on Facebook or Twitter, or just go to their website. I haven't watched any of them yet, but it's teachers that have been they're signing up to do an hour lesson to do a lesson for all the students of New Jersey.
that
Lisa
stuff, yeah.
has Lisa, I'm unmuting you, Lisa Falco.
Hi, thanks, Rob. I just wanted to say, in regard to Teacher Appreciation Week, the idea of sending gift baskets to the teachers' homes. I think in terms of stay-at-home, social distancing, while we might think that's a great idea, some of those teachers might not want people coming to their house delivering things that they kind of don't know who's touched them and where they've come from. So just keep that in mind when you think about Teacher Appreciation Week. I think, in my opinion, the best route for this year is anything and everything we can do via the internet, as opposed to any kind of physical contact or asking anybody to leave their home to deliver gift baskets, et cetera, et cetera. So that was just my thought. Thanks.
Somebody else had mentioned that they had met with their principal and he suggested e-gift cards like Amazon
Oh.
For the teachers.
That's a good idea. Yeah, if anyone didn't know that, Amazon, if you go to Amazon.com to do a gift card, you don't have to actually buy the gift card anymore. You could do a virtual code and send the code to the teacher's email, and then they can just use it just like a gift card. So that's a good idea too.
Rob, can you unmute Chastity, please? She said that she had a question that wasn't answered. I didn't see it. So if
She's up.
It was the quorum question, Kat, because I was being asked by my locals of when we're doing quorum, and let's say we do like a Zoom meeting, does the person have to have both video and audio? But I think you answered it. If you know Rob and and you hear his voice and you confirm it's him, that's present.
Oh, okay, good.
That was my question.
I didn't know I answered it. Okay.
Thank you.
Rob, there was a question about doing an online auction.
Yeah, Binda had can we do an online auction? Yes, you can figure out a way. I don't know if you heard it in the beginning, but for anyone that missed it, because I know some people joined in, Member Hub has a brand new resource. So if you go to memberhub.com, log into your account, you all should have gotten an email yesterday. If you didn't, you can reach out to us. People are shaking their heads, yes, so that's good. It has capabilities now for you to do an online auction to give you all the tools set up for you. So take a look at that. It's not just online auctions, but all different online raffles and things that you can do.
Natalia asked to be unmuted for a minute. She has something to ask.
Type it.
Go ahead, Natalia.
Can you hear me?
Yep.
Hi. I was just beginning to type it. Actually, I don't have a question. I just wanted to tell you guys how cool it is to see all of your kids popping their heads in and out of all of your screens. You don't know how cool it is when your kids are in their 20s and almost 30s to have the reminder of what we do. And here comes the I spoke too soon. This is my little one. To see you guys with your kids, and I know it's crazy and you're going through a lot of stuff, but it's really cool to see you with your kids on the screen. So thank you. That's it.
Thank you, Natalia.
Thanks, Matt.
We got a question. She may have missed the info. She had to step out. What are we doing? I guess just to recap, what are we doing for elections? Are we going to allow electronic votes, or do they need a mail, or can we do a Zoom? What is the rule?
Well, we're going to do you can do a Zoom meeting, and yes, you can do electronic voting for elections. You need to see the person and hear the person, follow everything else in the bylaws, but just as an FYI, just call your region director or, one of us, and we can, go over in more detail if you need to. Who was that? Was it someone, so we can give them who they can call for help?
It was Paige.
Oh, Paige. Okay. Paige. Yep. We'll go over that with you.
Natty said earmarked and appointed. I don't know what that means. It's Natty. And her sound's not on. So if you want to be more specific. Oh, that was Natalia. Oh, sorry. Never mind. Nancy Wall. Sorry, going back to the comment with online auction, you will need to change your application with the town and gaming, but you should contact gaming permission. Yeah, that's a good point. That if you already had your you should have your raffle license, but if you have not the raffle license, what's the proper word? The specific license for the specific event, go to the town once it's all open again and contact the gaming commission. They'll have information on how you can adjust things, especially if you had tickets printed already. Obviously, you need to make sure that things are printed again correctly, but hopefully they'll give guidance once this is all over on to make it a little easier. Probably not, because they are the gaming commission, but we can only hope. Lori Pasiak said, we are doing this at our school and the teachers made a video for the kids as well. Nice. Tez, agree. My hope is that this experience normalizes all of us to be our authentic self at work and everywhere, and that includes being having a family. Very nice. Jason said, nice point, Nancy.
And please share some of the good stuff that's going on with us, because we'd like to share it with other PTAs. If you can send it over, to us, email it to us. We would love to share it with the other PTAs and, share it out. Would be great. Other people can get some ideas, and it just, especially myself, I love to look at everything and know that, what a great job our PTAs are doing in this state. You guys really are stepping it up, and, it's very heartwarming, I have to say.
to answer Cindy's question. Cindy asks, when you say electronic votes are okay, does that mean Google Forms are okay? Yes. So in the, you may have not seen the guidance we gave. It's on our Facebook page. We'll make sure it's on the website. It got sent in an email. If you didn't open the email, it got sent again today, but we'll make sure people get it and can see it. Google Forms is a suggestion, also SurveyMonkey. There are options where you can send people the link, but it won't, when they vote, it won't actually show you what they voted for. So anything that does something like that would be okay for electronic votes. If it's, that's especially for if you're electing people for positions. If you're just voting on like moving money and you feel like you're going to have a consensus, it's fine to just do the voice vote, or if you wanted to do a roll call vote for things like that. But if you're doing elections, it really should be by ballot.
If they're contested elections. Right. If it's not contested elections, then you can just do a voice vote like you would do at, you know, your regular general meeting. Again, as long as you have the quorum and all your other bylaws are met.
Kathy, this is a question for you. Is New Jersey going to join the other 14 states that are already not returning to normal school until September?
Great question. So what we hear talking on our meetings with education associations and our contact from the governor's office, that the governor will make his decision or will give us more information on April 17th. So the governor is the only one who can say school is closed for the rest of the year. I'm sure I know he consults with the commissioner of education and they consult with superintendents, but the governor is the only one who can make that decision. So I know there are some people, you know, who, think it's in with the, you know, locals, which obviously that's a good thing. You know, that's something that you would think that your superintendent, since we do have local control in New Jersey, but the governor is the only one who can say when we go back to school and can close the schools in the state. But again, I did hear from one local today, yesterday, which was great. You know, send us, you know, your thoughts, because we share them. We have weekly meetings with the other ed associations, and when I get stuff, we do share with them what our parents are saying. So please, you know, if you have, again, you know, any kind of issues or any kind of thoughts that you think would be helpful when we're sharing with the education associations, please email me or one of your executive committee team members, and we will get that to the proper people.
A big suggestion from Lori Pasiak is Virtual Spirit Week, which is a great idea. We have done a few of these. The parents get a list of things the kids can do over the week to keep homeschool fun. I've seen a lot of those on social media, and they're absolutely great because they get the kids excited, they get the teachers excited. A lot of the, you know, administrators are also participating, so that's a wonderful idea for the PTA to run, especially coming back from spring break. Lois had a question. Good to see you all. Advice on conducting audit. Lori, you want to go over that one more time?
The fact that we haven't decided on that yet, except that it's happening in a little while, so we will be addressing that. Right now, we have not changed the date of the audit, but we have until the end of June. And again, we don't know what's going on in the future, when we're going to be able to get back and see other people. But we will look into how we, just as we did with the elections, because those are coming up now. That's what we have mainly discussed now. We have to still talk about audits and potentially what could happen and how can they be done virtually, or do we extend the deadline? How do we address that situation? We have not looked into that yet, but we know that it is something that needs to come up. But we're sort of trying to take one little hurdle at a time as they arrive.
Hi, everyone. Beginning my own Zoom meeting in a little bit. Any other tips? Anyone else want to give any tips, I guess, for audits?
Just, you know, explain like we did, you know, it's new territory doing the Zoom meetings. Take your time, you know, doing it, rather do it right than rush it. And, you know, if you need any help, you know, you can text us for help. I'll give you my cell phone number. If you need a text help, 732-239-3674. So if you need help, just text me. Sharon, can you unmute Sharon, Rob?
Yep, good, Sharon.
Oh, thanks. I would just also say it's a really big help when you have somebody like Rob who's actually moderating and reading the questions. It kind of keeps the meeting in order. So I had a Zoom meeting last week and it was kind of chaotic with the family members. So it really does help to have a moderator.
Yep, that's a very good point, because if you're running the meeting, you can't moderate yourself. At least I wouldn't be able to. So yeah, have your secretary there, making sure the voting, the people are on there and they're checking your membership list, and have someone else, one of your VPs or someone else moderating. Good point, Sharon.
Tez made a comment, which is great, not PTA specifically, but she says her district has been featuring videos of students, teachers, and faculty sharing their music, art, motivational words, etc., even alums, which I think is a great idea.
Yeah, that is.
You mentioned not being able to donate to hospitals, but what if it's specifically a children's hospital, such as CHOP?
It still doesn't have the same, help me, Kathy, with the word.
Mission.
Thank you. The same mission as we do. But again, if you, in the guidance that went out, while you can't specifically donate to a place such as CHOP, you can help raise funds for them, or the PTA can organize a fundraiser that goes directly to them, or a supply fundraiser. There's a bunch of different things in there that ways that they can help those specific organizations. What they're not allowed to do is take money out of their own already raised funds and donate them directly, but they can facilitate raising funds for organizations such as that.
Well, one thing I do want to say, and it doesn't pertain to equipment, but I did have, a local unit call me and ask me, they wanted to donate, a few local units, donate, food, take money out of their funds and buy food and donate to families, Title I district, and they know families aren't, eating over spring break or whatever. And we know that, even food going home, it breaks my heart just to think that, if they have 2 kids in a school and they're getting food for 2 kids, and they have 2 other little kids and other family members, and everyone's eating the food that's coming from the school, it's sad. It really is. So, like I said, try to give them numbers for different food banks, or we'll try to help with that. But, when you have your funds in your PTA also, and you want to use them for your funds, you have to think about, like, if you feed, 1,000, you feed 5 families and you're spending $1,000, and then maybe, and obviously I'm just picking numbers out of a hat, and then maybe 5 more families call you, to get more food, and now you have no money left. It kind of, then you're kind of in a position, there's so much need out there now that you don't want to put yourself in that position either, that you can't, number one, but number two, that you wouldn't have enough for everyone.
Anyone else? Question. Who's that? Cindy. Hold on, Cindy. I'll unmute you. Go ahead, Cindy.
Thanks, Rob. You already answered the question in reference to the voting with the Google Forms, and I did find it in the paperwork here, so I did skip over it. But that is specifically under the voting for persons. What about bylaws? I mean, I know you said they can be on hold and no rush, but if we wanted to do it, is the Google form sufficient?
Stephanie, are you on? See, you're on, but I can't unmute you.
Yep.
Oh, there you go. Do you want to answer that one, Stephanie?
Yeah, ask it again because I was answering something else. Sorry.
Or how we put that Google Forms or SurveyMonkey to elect for people. She's saying, what should they do if they want to move forward and vote on their bylaw changes?
It would be handled as if we're allowing. Yeah, why not hold the? What do you mean? I don't understand. If you're holding a meeting via SurveyMonkey, yeah, you can vote on your bylaws too. Is that the question?
The same way, basically, you're saying use the same format as.
Yes, use the same format. Sure.
Thank you.
Yeah.
And getting back to the food, just so, I know we mentioned it before, but just to say, you can do food drives. You're allowed to do that also, just so that you know, because you're not buying stuff or whatever. So you can do that. You can organize that.
Another question, do we have to have a nomination committee before voting in officers? It has been a challenging process.
This is for me again?
Mm-hmm.
All right. You have to have a nominating, yes, according to your bylaws, you have to have a nominating committee. And it's a challenge because you can't find a nominating committee, or you're having a problem finding people to take the positions.
Let me just unmute Tez. Go ahead, Tez. You're unmuted if you just want to say it out loud.
It's been challenging. So we're on a council level, to be clear, right now on a local level. And so even before COVID, it's been challenging specifically now. And it's a very tricky time to, as I'm reaching out to some folks to say, hi, how you're doing? By the way, I'm kind of working on this thing. You know, some people may have the headspace to think about it. Some people, that's like the PTA is like the last thing on my mind right now, right? They have a lot going on, e-learning and stuff like that. And so, yeah, it's just been challenging overall.
Right. Yeah. Well, so what you're saying, it's because of this situation going on now. All right. So do you have people that are interested in taking the positions?
For which nomination or?
Yeah, for your, no, not for the nominating committee, for your open officer positions.
Some people have shown interest and I've reached out to see if they would have the time or bandwidth. So some people, yes. Other people, I think they may just simply not have the space to think about it. But if I can at least not worry about it, they'll still be voted in, obviously, right? But if I don't have to worry about this middle piece of finding people to for a nominating committee, we have people who are fake, then that might.
Right. I see what you're saying. You want to skip over the technicality. You want to run straight to the get the job done without going through the steps of the process of getting the nominating committee. Right. So that's why I asked, if you have people that are interested, it's sort of like a no-brainer. It's already done for your nominating committee. You know what I'm saying? So it shouldn't be a problem to dig up 3 people that will just take the positions as a, you know, vote them in. I mean, I guess it's sort of like a technicality, but yeah, you're supposed to follow the rules, and we can't really suspend all the rules just because of what's going on. You know, you sort of have to follow some sort of process, as like nitpicking as that might sound, but basically, I listen here, even in good times, in, you know, outside of a virus, I've been on PTAs where we already know who the upcoming people are going to be. We already know because they've already expressed interest and it's a done deal already. But we still go through the process of getting the nominee in and all that. So yeah, it shouldn't be a problem if you already have people interested.
And your nominating committee is tasked with trying to find those people. As Stephanie said, if you already have people interested, they already have some people that they can consider. There might be more than one for a, you know, maybe you have 2 people who are interested in the same position. Your nominating committee is then the ones that are going to figure out which one is actually going to go on the slate. But when they finish their task, they might not be able to find somebody to fill every position. They might not have a complete slate. That does happen. If they don't have a complete slate, there will be vacancies. They will put forth whatever positions they have nominees for. You always still have the opportunity for people to nominate themselves from the floor. So maybe somebody would come forward that the nominating committee doesn't or doesn't know about. So the nominating committee, it's not like if they don't come up with people for every position, they have to keep going and going and going for 6 months. You know, there is an end to their time frame. They have whatever slate they have when it's time to announce their slate. And then the rest are either somebody that was nominating themselves, or it goes unfulfilled, and then your bylaws have ways to fill those vacancies going forward.
Okay.
Natalia was asking, when is the election?
What election?
When are they holding elections? I think that's what,
You know what? I think maybe Stephanie, can you help her offline? Like get in touch with her so that we could give her a little bit more personalized help if possible.
it may have been Tez's question.
Oh, Tez, sorry. Or Natalia's the region director there,
He's on mute, so yeah, I'm over here.
right? Tez is in Essex.
Yeah.
So Natalia or Karen Diggs.
Okay, I don't see any other questions, so I'm gonna, real quick before we end, unmute everyone. So anyone that's on a cell phone, if they had a question that they couldn't type in, they can ask real quick.
Here.
Everyone.
Thank you all for doing this. Thank you very much.
Yeah. Grace Church is working on that now.
Thank you very much. This is very useful and very helpful tonight. Thank you so much. Well, everyone.
Would you guys like to see another one in like 2 weeks?
Yes.
Okay.
Definitely.
Set something up.
Thank you so much. This was really great.
Thank you guys. You know,
This is
thank
probably
you.
good. Yeah, this is fantastic. Bye-bye, everyone. Be well.
Thank you.
This was very well run. Thank you so
Bye-bye.
much.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Someone has a question.
There's one more question.
Okay. No, I'm not going anywhere.
The question was, what do we need to do if no one is challenging the sitting board and current board members are willing to stay on? They still need to be reelected if they're eligible. You still have to have an election. They can't just automatically continue.
Can you hear me?
Just let me say this. We're not forcing you to have an election virtually. If you're not comfortable with that, I'm not forcing you to do that, but we want you to try. We want to try to have the association move forward according to the bylaws and according to what we're supposed to be doing.
I think Natalia, you were gonna say something?
Natalia, did you want to? Oh, she's muted, Rob.
I unmuted everyone, so.
Oh.
Yeah.
Natalia, you're unmuted, but you muted yourself.
I'm sorry, yeah. I think that was Mr. Brown who asked the question.
Yeah.
Hi, guys, Jersey City. We're gonna have to talk because remember that you guys have been sitting in these positions now, so we gotta make sure that nobody's running over their term. So I will reach out to you and we can work on that. I just wanted Kathy to know that we could just take care of that.
Good, thank you, Natalia.
All right, thank you.
All right.
Any other questions?
Nancy Wallace said, I just went on the Member Hub fundraiser. They do not have any reference or information about needing to have one, I guess, means gaming license. This could be an issue with the Gaming Commission, I think, and our 501c3 status.
I will reach out to
I don't see them doing that.
contact at the governor's office and see if they have any information, if that
I muted you, sorry.
I'm sorry. I will reach out to our contact at the governor's office to see if they have any information, if the Gaming Commission is even working. I don't even know, but I will do that, and we can send out some. We'll send out some information on that. If I get an answer now, I know that they have a lot of other things going on now, but I will send an email and ask her and see if we get an answer.
I do think there's different rules for when you do online things. I don't know what this.
Yeah.
Yeah. So raffles get a lot more leeway than bingos and things like that. So you have to be careful. And if your local government, like your township, is closed, it's like you usually have to go through them and file an amendment for the date for that license. So if they're closed, there's a good chance you're not going to get it into the Gaming Commission.
Correct.
Do not see anyone else.
There's someone, Joe.
Oh, okay.
Chinko, if you could.
Go ahead.
Yeah, just to clarify, so if bylaws don't currently state that electronic elections are allowed, is that part being waived? Did we have to essentially amend the bylaws to allow for these virtual elections?
No, this is being waived till June 30th.
Okay, thank you.
30th, yep. And then, well, after that, if we have to address it, we will. Any other questions? Okay, well, just remember before we go, thank you again, everyone. We'll be setting up another one probably the beginning of May. And we'll know more about if schools are going to be closing, and if they are, then, you know, hopefully we'll have different information. But remember, send in anything good that you're doing to us. If you need help, reach out to us. This is what we're here for. Okay, if you're local, if your members need anything, you know, and you can't assist them with that, please reach out to us.
Thank you all.
Thank you. Does anyone from the team, the executive committee team or the board want to say anything before we go? Okay.
Bye-bye, good luck.
Bye-bye, everyone.
Bye-bye, stay safe.
Bye.
Yes,
Bye.
stay safe,
Bye,
everyone.
everyone. Thanks so much.
Happy Easter.
Bye, guys.
Bye.
Bye, Nancy.
Good night.